Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Al-jame from BSCE2, and today I'm going to talk about the chapter 15, Rizal's second sojourn in Paris and the Universal Exposition of 1889. Sojourn means temporary stay o pansamantalang pananatili. Universal Exposition, ang ibig sabihin ay exhibit ng mga bansa para maipakita ang kanilang natatanging nilikha. Ang eksposisyon na ito ay naganap noong 1889 sa Paris mula May 6 to October 31, 1889. Bilang paggunita sa ika-100 taong anibersaryo ng storming of the Bastille, an event considered symbolic of the beginning of the French Revolution. Sa kabilang ng pagdiriwang, dahil pagpatuloy pa rin ni Rizal ang mga gawaing artistiko, literacy, and patriotic labors gaya ng pagpublish sa annotated edition ng Morgas Successos. Ang ikalawa ay ang pagbuo ng tatlong Filipino societies, ang The Kidlat Club, the Indos Bravos, and the RDLM. Pangatlo ay pagsulat ng por telepono. Difficulty of finding quarters. Lubos na mahirap makahanap ang isang turista ng maliit na matutuluyan sa Paris dahil ang Universal Exposition ay papalapit na at maraming turistang bibisita. Sa maikling panahon, si Rizal ay nanirahan kasama si Valentin Ventura sa number 45 Rue Maubege, where he published his annotated edition of Morgas book. Finally, nanirahan siya sa maliit na kwarto kasama sina Kapitan Justo Trinidad at Jose Albert. Life in Paris. Inilaan ni Rizal ang karamihan sa kanyang oras sa Bibliotheque Nationale o ang National Library. Sa mga ekstra nitong oras, nakikisalo sa hapagkainan ni na Padre de Taveras, Venturas, at Bostieds and Lunas. Rizal was a good friend to three Padre de Taveras na mga anak ni Don Joaquin Padre de Tavera, an exiled of 1872 na tumakas sa Marianas at nanirahan sa Pransya. Ang mga anak nito ay sina Dr. Trinidad S. Padre de Tavera, isang physician, Felix Padre de Tavera, isa ring physician at artist and sculptor. Ang pangatlong anak niya ay si Paz Pardo de Tavera, ang asawa ni Juan Luna. June 24, 1889, isinilang ang batang babae na anak ni na Juan Luna at Paz Pardo de Tavera. Si Rizal bilang ninong at pinangalanan itong Maria de la Paz Blanca Loriana Hermagilda Juana Luna e Pardo de Tavera. Rizal and the Paris Exposition of 1889. Nagsimula ang expo na ito noong May 6, 1889. Greatest attraction of the exposition was the Eiffel Tower na gawa ni Alexander Eiffel na mayroong 984 feet high. Rizal attended the cutting ribbon and saw the Sadi Cannon of the Third French Republic President. Sa isang araw, humigit kumulang 20,000 tao ang dumadalo sa nasabing eksposisyon. Isa sa mga kahalagan ng eksposisyon ay International Art Competition, kung saan sina Felix R. Hidalgo, Juan Luna, Felix Pardo de Tavera, at si Jose Rizal ay nakilahok. Hidalgo's painting was awarded second prize. In the paintings of Juan Luna and Felix Pardo de Tavera, both obtained third prize. Samantalang si Rizal na ay hindi nanalo sa kanyang gawa na a bust which he modeled. Kidlat Club. Inorganisa ni Rizal ito noong March 19, 1889. Membro sina Antonio Luna, si Antonio and Juan Luna, Gregorio Aguilera, Fernando Canon, Lauro Di Mayugo, Julio Llorente, Guillermo Pouto, and Baldomero Rojas. Pansamantalang social society para tipunin ang mga kabataan sa French capital to enjoy the Universal Exposition. Indios Bravos. Si Rizal at ang kanyang mga kasamahan na mangha sa Buffalo Bull, which featured the American Indians. A new society, Indios Bravos or the Brave Indians, ang pumalit sa Kidlat Club. The members ang mga membro nito ay nanumpahan na magpakitang gilas sa patalinuhan at pisikal para makuha ang simpatya ng mga foreigner. Nag-ensayo sila ng espada at bumaril gamit ang pistola. Tinuruan din sila ni Rizal mag-judo o yung parang karate sa Japanese. RDLM Society, another society founded by Rizal. Ang secret society na ito ay nabanggit sa dalawang liham ni Rizal kay Jose Maria Basa, paparis noong September 21, 1889, at sa liham ni Rizal kay Marcelo H. del Pilar sa Paris noong November 4, 1889. Miyembro ay sina Gregorio Aguilera, Jose Ma Basa, Julio Llorente, Marcelo H. del Pilar, Mariano Ponce, Baldomero Rojas, Father Jose Maria Chanco, Gregorio Aguilera, Jose Maria Basa, Marcelo H. del Pilar, at Mariano Ponce. The letters RDLM are believed to be the initials of the society Redención de los Malayos, patterned after Freemasonry. Ang aim nito ay propagation of all knowledge in the Philippines and redemption of Malay race. Rizal ay naging inspirado sa sikat na aklat ni Max Havelaar noong 1860, isinulat ni Multitulay, which is exposed in the miserable condition of the oppressed Malays, inhabitants of the Netherlands, East Indies under Dutch rule. On a letter to Blumentritt from Rizal on February 23, 1892, ipinahayag niya ang kanyang intensyon na maging leader ng kalayaan. Kung di man sa Pilipinas ay sa ibang lugar, sa Borneo. A noted edition of Morgas published. Rizal's outstanding achievement in Paris was publication in 1890, his annotated edition of Morgas Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas. It was printed by Garnier Freres. Two prologue was written by Professor Blumentritt. Two things which reveals Rizal's errors. Apprising the events of the past light which present to the standard and attack on the Catholicism. At yung pangalawa, dedikasyon ni Rizal sa bagong edisyon ay ang Pilipino para malaman ang kanilang maluwalhating nakaraan. His dedication is as follows: born and reared in arrogance of our past like almost all of you, without voice nor authority to speak of what we have not seen nor studied, deem it necessary to invoke testimony of an illustrious Spaniards who control the destinies of the Philippines at the beginning of its new era, and personally witness the last day of our ancient nationality. Sa kanyang gawaing pagkasaysayan, pinatunayan ni Rizal na ang mga Pilipino ay sibilisado na bago pa dumating ang mga Kastila. Comment on Morgas publication date. The title page of the Rizal annotated edition Morgas reads Paris Libera de Garnier Hermanos noong 1889. From this printed date, all biographies of Rizal came to assert this was published in 1890. However, the documentary evidence that Rizal edition of Morga came off the press in 1889. October 12, 1889, Blumentritt wrote Rizal from Letmeritz that he had just received the magnificent edition of Morgas. Rizal himself, in his letter, Dr. Baldomero Rojas from Paris on December 31, 1889, started, "Today, send to Lipa 4 copies of Morga's letter, will send you more." From Barcelona, Mariano Ponce wrote to Rizal on December 31, 1899, saying, "I received the book. The 3 letters above those serves as a proof of Rizal editions of Morga's came off the press in 1889 rather." Rizal as historian. Ang pananaliksik ni Rizal sa British Museum sa London at sa Bibliotheque Nationale sa Paris ay nagpayamang ng kanyang kaalaman pangkasaysayan. His splendid annotated edition to book showed his familiarities with basic principles of histography. As he once told Sabelo de los Reyes, "A historian ought to be righteously imparted. I never assert anything on my own authority. Cite text, and when do, have them before me." Ang kanyang angking kakayahan sa pagbasa at pagsulat sa iba't ibang lengguwahe ay nakatulong sa kanya upang makabasa ng mga libro sa iba't ibang lengguwahe. Halimbawa na lang ito ay ang Pigafettas, The First Voyage Around the World na isinulat sa Italian, the historical work of Marsden, Raffles, Lord Stanley, and Wallace in English, the writings of Blumentritt, J. Gore, and Virchow in German, the book of M. Jacquet, J. Malat, and A. March in French, the work of T.H. Pardo de Tavera, Pedro E. Paterno, Miguel Moraita, and P.A. Margal in Spanish. Dahil sa hilig nito magbasa, hindi lang istorya ng Pilipinas ang kanyang nalaman, pati na rin ang Europe colonization sa Asia. Marami din siyang naisulat na nakapag-ambag na masasabi siyang tunay na historian. Kabilang dito ay The Philippines Within a Century. Sa artikulong ito, pinapahayag ni Rizal ang kanyang pananaw sa pananakop ng mga Kastila sa Pilipinas and predicted with amazing accuracy the tragic end of Spanish sovereignty in Asia. He portrayed at the beginning of his articles the glorious past of the Filipino people that described their economic stagnation and unhappiness under the harsh, bulging Spanish rule. Towards the last paragraphs, he warned Spain of what would happen to her colonial empire in Asia if she would not adopt a more liberal and enlightened policy towards the Philippines. The indolence of the Filipinos. La indolencia de los Filipinos. O mas kilala ito sa kanyang English na bersyon. An essay written to explain the alleged idleness of his people during the Spanish colonization. A critical study of the causes of why the people did not work hard during the Spanish regime. The main thesis was the Filipinos are not nature indolent. Rizal explained that the Filipinos used to be industrious and hardworking, but the Spanish conquest in the country brought about decline in economic activities because of the Filipinos abandoned their pre-Spanish industries and worked less than their ancestors. Such decline in economic life was due to certain causes: native revolts and other internal disorder which followed the establishment of the Spanish rule. Number 2, the wars which the Filipino fought for Spain's enemy. Number 3, frightful raid on coastal towns and villages of the Christian Philippines by Muslim pirates of Mindanao and Sulu. Number 4, forced labor which compelled thousands of Filipino laborers to work in public works and resulting in abandonment of their personal work. Number 5, lack of stimulus to work harder because the people could not enjoy the fruit of their labor. Number 6, government neglect and indifferences to agriculture, industry, and commerce. Number 7, the bad example shown by the Spaniard is despairing manual labor. Number 8, the teaching of Spanish missionaries that it's easier to poor man to enter heaven than for a rich man. Hence, the Filipino prefer not to work and be poor so that they can be easily enter in heaven after they die. Number 9, encouragement on and propagation of gambling by Spanish authorities. And number 10 is system of Spanish education did not promote economic enterprise and activity. Filipinos are easygoing and don't work so hard because they're wise enough to adjust themselves to their warm, tropical climate. They don't have to kill themselves working hard in order to live because nature gives them abundant harvest by working less than those in temperature and arid countries. International Association of Filipinologists. The aim of the association is to study Philippines from the scientific and historic point of view. Their inaugural convention did not materialize because of the French government discouraged the holding of the conference by private organizations during the period of international exposition. Project for Filipino College in Hong Kong. This college aimed to train and educate men of good family and financial means in accordance with the demands of modern times and circumstances. Isang mayaman na Filipino na naninirahan sa Paris, si Mr. Mariano Cunanan, galing Mexico, Pampanga, nangakong maglalaan na 40,000 pera bilang paunang kapital sa nasabing kolehiyo. This project of Rizal'S is to establish a modern college in Hong Kong did not materialize. Por telefono. The satirical pamphlet under the authorship of Dimas Alang is a witty satire which ridicules Father Front. It describes in comical vein a telephone conversation between Father Front, who was in Madrid, and the 6 other provincial of the San Agustin Convent in Manila, published in a booklet form in Barcelona 1889. Rizal received the printed copies of Mariano Ponce as revealed in this letter dated in August 13, 1889. Rizal predicted much ahead of his time that the people could not carry on overseas telephonic conversation 12 years after the publication of Rizal'S Por Telefono. Christmas in Paris. Rizal and Jose Albert were living frugally in a small room occupied by Capitan Justo Trinidad. They planned to have sumptuous Christmas dinner, fried chicken, rice, vegetables. This was Rizal's last Christmas dinner in Paris. After New Year, Rizal had brief visit in London for an unknown purpose but two theoretical reasons were to check up his annotated edition of Morgan's Successos with the original copy in the British Museum and to see Gertrude Beckett for the last time, which was her lady. In the middle of January 1890, he went back in Paris. That time, an epidemic influenza was raging in Europe. Unfortunately, hindi siya tinamaan ng sakit na yun na flu. So, yun lang po. Maraming salamat.